What's going on, guys? My name is Rumble Skrash. In today's video we're gonna be talking about the brand new Super Sugo Fest exclusive Yamato that has released in JP. But not only that, we're also gonna be talking about the brand new Legend dual unit, which is gonna be Ulti Page 1, which is a weird choice, but it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do in PvP. I mean, probably you already know, but I'm gonna be discussing what I think are gonna be the effects and what have already been the effects, and for what I have already seen. I also on vacation, so I couldn't record the video at the moment where we got all this information and everything, but I also wanted to wait a little bit of days so that I could see some gameplay and actually see how this guy was performing, because this unit is absolutely broken. Probably you already thought that or figured that out, but I think in my opinion this unit is gonna be definitely tier 0, and not only tier 0, I think it's gonna be one of the best units in PvP. We're gonna be seeing how it goes, but I do think that when this unit eventually comes to global, well, the meta is gonna change. I'm gonna be having to do some changes in the tier list and also in tier 0 and everything. By the way, in terms of tier list, I'm gonna be uploading this month a tier list video with new units and everything, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so basically Yamato is probably gonna be one of the best units in PvP, and if not the best, maximum second best or something like that, because probably like totally she's broken. I'm gonna be talking about what she does now, but it's kind of insane. So yeah, just that the fact that just one unit, not even two units, can completely change the performance of one particular team, which is gonna be the in team, against all the other meta for meta color. It's just kind of insane, the fact that she does that. Like for example, other units that have brought their own team to another level, maybe not to that extent as Yamato, but for example, before Kid, the strength team wasn't really an option, maybe as a bait, but it was losing a lot, and it wasn't a lot of the times even considered now before Kid. But now that we get Kit, you have a lot of options, and you already can beat probably two of the meta colors. So that's already a lot. And other units that have done that, maybe it's also Moria when he released now in global, like the fact that you suddenly can open yourself to the possibility of very powerful driven teams or in teams, but not to this extent. Yamato is insane. When she releases it, just like okay, the in team goes to the very top, and it's just kind of insane. But yeah, well, let's actually talk about the unit itself. So in terms of stats, by the way, Yamato has an insane amount of HP, but well, I mean, one of the highest. But yeah, in terms of defense, 163, it's actually not that bad. It could be better, but at least they didn't make it better, because this unit is very good in all aspects. So at least it's not like um, 250 defense base defense. It will be even more broken. But yeah, so the speed is kind of high, so that's good. And then let's actually talk about the passive and the abilities, so the special. So the passive is actually level 5 to int allies, and when damage has been dealt, here it's written bad, but when she deals damage to the enemy with normal attacks, then she will each time increase the attack of int allies by level 2. So yeah, that is kind of good. You're gonna be seeing that her special does a lot of damage, but yeah, I definitely do think that if there's something to be improved, and it's a lot to say that, because I wouldn't really want a lot to improve in this unit, because she's totally broken. But it's this passive. So as you probably have heard of, the 19th of September, there's gonna be the 6 plus of Yamato, and there's gonna be in 6 plus there's changes in the PvP abilities. Hey guys, Rumble Skrash from the future here. So I recorded the video of Yamato actually yesterday, and I wasn't really expecting during the night that we got this information. So in this part of the video, I was talking about the 6 plus and everything, and I was saying that I don't think they're gonna change the typing and or anything, but probably that turned out to be wrong. So I'm really happy about this if it's actually like this, because it looks like the super evolution of Yamato skulls. The skulls are actually size, so it's very possible that 6 plus Yamato will actually be an Sai unit, and that is actually massive, because it means that you get the abilities of such a broken unit not only to one color, which would turn the whole meta to kind of like, yeah, the int meta, and then there's the other four colors, but it would turn it to two color meta. And actually the int team with Yamato was kind of not struggling, but it was kind of close against some variations of Sai. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. Maybe we get actually the Sai meta, and everyone was thinking that we would get the int meta, but it's actually Sai meta, because Sai is one of the most solid teams. So now if Yamato is confirmed to be Sai, I do strongly advise to bet on Sai teams in the future. I already said that in my previous video when I was saying where to pull and everything, and I was saying Sai is one of the best options till Yamato comes. But now, I mean, yeah, you also want Yamato because the 6+ is gonna be Sai probably, but it's even more strongly advised to get the Sai units if you don't have them. But yeah, so Yamato probably is gonna be a Sai unit, and a lot of people might be mad at this at the fact that, oh, now I need two copies of Yamato, one for the in team, one for the side team. But apparently we don't have any information about that, but it looks like the 6+ of skull of Yamato, so the material, and you only need one to go from the indie version to the side version, is gonna be available in the Rayleigh shop with tickets. And I'm assuming, I mean, it's gonna cost some amount of tickets, but depending on the amount of tickets, that's actually really interesting, because it means that you can, if you have a lot of tickets and you pull a little bit, you can change around 6+ and just the 6 regular version, so a 6-star regular version. So I do think that that is one option. You just need a copy, and then, I mean, it's really expensive in terms of tickets if you are doing Power Rumble matches, and then every time you want to use the site and you have to evolve Yamato. So yeah, I'm not saying that's a very good option, but there is the option. So I do think that that's a really nice thing to do, to put the skull in the Rayleigh shop. And depending on the amount of tickets, it might actually be worth it to do all these 6+ evolution and stuff, if it's like that, because maybe it just costs few Rayleigh pawns, and then you can just consistently do that. It might be a little bit tiresome, but there's a possibility. I do think that it's gonna be costing at least 10,000 Rayleigh tickets, so probably you're not gonna be able to do that all the time, but like a couple of times a month, or 3 times a month, I do think that it's something that it's possible to do if it turns out to be like that. So I do think that's really, really interesting, the fact that we get a side unit. And now, talking about the abilities now of the 6+, I'm not really sure if they're gonna really change anything of Yamato, or if they are totally gonna change everything. Like maybe she does something completely different, countering the int version, so countering these massive hull stats and massive multiplier damage. I don't really know how they're gonna be doing that, but maybe she's kind of like that. Okay, when she has the mask, then she's an int unit driven unit, and then massively halves the stats and deals massive damage. But when she's a side unit, then she's free spirit, I don't know, and she counters the int counterpart of herself. So I do think that that could be a very, very interesting idea. It might just be like she does the same for Sai, which could be really interesting, because Sai actually would be getting a unit that was dealing half stats, which for the moment there's just two int units that do that, and no other unit is doing that. So I do think that that would be an interesting idea. So I like both scenarios, but I do think that it would be interesting if they change the abilities in terms of countering herself. So I do think that that's could be interesting, or if they copy paste just changing the word int for Sai, then maybe as it is a 6+, they're gonna improve the passive, and that would even turn it the odds more for the Sai meta. But we're gonna have to be seeing. So it looks like probably we're gonna be getting not the int meta, so the Sai meta also, and the Sai and int meta, I would say. So at least two color meta, and there's probably some of the other of the colors are maybe gonna be able to do something against the others. But I do think that that's a really, really interesting thing, because at least it's not a boring one color meta, it's at least two. So I do think that that is actually more interesting than the other option that we had. So during the rest of the video I might say something like int meta or something, but this is just because during the night this got announced, so I wanted to make a clear statement of that and what do I think, and I do think that that's a really interesting to do. But now let's actually finish hearing all the abilities of the int counterpart of Yamato and also Ulti page 1 and what I think about the unit itself and everything. Then the special on a 28-second cooldown, which is actually really low for what she does. She will inflict 100% chance to half stat enemies in a medium range for 20 seconds. This is insane. Like, Moria is half stat 3 out of the 5 enemies, and that's already really good. But Yamato can half stat in a range, and it's a medium range. And for what I have seen here, like, it's written medium range, so apparently it's a medium radial range. So it's not the best range being a large radial range, but it's a medium radial range, and I do think that that's still an amazing range to have stat for 100% chance for 20 seconds. This is insane. By the way, for what I have seen, I have investigated a little bit, seeing like footage and everything and calculating the damage that the unit should be doing. I do not think that half stat stack, so I do not think that if Moria half stats one unit and then Yamato half stats the same unit, then that unit has the defense divided by 4. I do still think that it doesn't stack and it just by half, thank God. But yeah, so maybe I'm wrong with that and I have done badly the calculations, but I saw like in a clip that the unit was receiving X amount of damage, and if it had been divided by 4 it would be much higher, and I calculated all the attack buffs, the defense stats, the defense buffs and everything, and I calculated the damage, so I do think that they do not stack. But well, I mean, then the unit will, apart from inflicting the half stat on such a good range, which is already amazing, 4.5 times character's attack to 2 enemies and level 7 attack down to enemies in a large range. Like the level 7 attack down is not that significant, but actually it can be significant, because for what I have seen that the half stat works is it reduces, it halves the actual stats that the unit has at the moment where the unit is inflicted with half stats, and then any other buff or debuff is subtracted from the resulting amount. So let's say a unit has just like 300 defense, let's just say that. Then it gets inflicted with half stats, then the unit goes to 150 defense. And then you inflict the unit with level 3 defense down. That's minus 75 defense, so the unit is left with only 75 defense. Now, if it were the other way around and first the unit is inflicted with level 3 defense down, that's 225, and then half stats, the unit is left with 112.5, let's just say, defense. So you can see that there's actually a difference in if the unit is first inflicted with half stats and then a debuff, or first the debuff and then the half stats. So there's a difference with that, and this attack down is really significant. I do think that, because let's just say a unit has 3000 base attack, half stats bring the attack to 1500, and then level 7 attack down is 525 if I'm not mistaken. Now I do it fast. Actually attack down, so the unit is left with less than 1000 base attack. So that is actually kind of insane, taking into consideration that the attack down is just like 500 attack down, and if you subtract that, you're debuffing the unit further. Like, it's not game changing, but the unit that gets inflicted with half stats and then attack down, the special of that unit is not really gonna be dealing almost any damage if you have a little bit of defense yourself, so that can actually be significant. But the 4.5 damage to 2 enemies is what makes this unit broken, apart from all these half stats and everything, because if this unit targets a unit that has been inflicted with half stats, and the chance of that happening is really high, because not only you have the massive range of half stats of Yamato, but you also have Moria. So already, probably if Moria activates before Yamato, 3 out of the 5 units are gonna definitely be half stat, and then you only need Yamato to debuff one or both of the units that are missing to debuff, and then that's just it. Any unit that Yamato targets with a special will receive 4.5 damage through half stats. and this is actually ridiculous. Also keeping into consideration that the passive massively buffs the attack, so Yamato is most definitely gonna be nuking two enemies on a 28-second cooldown, which is insane. Like, it's just gonna be saying nope, goodbye, and killing two enemies, or at least bringing the enemy to really low HP, and then some fixed damage even can kill the enemies, or maybe even some multiplier damage, because the units are inflicted with half stats, so they have low defense, and a special multiplier damage not that high can actually be killing this unit. So this is actually kind of ridiculous. To make an example, if you wanna know some numbers, let's just say you are bursting a side team, okay? So the side team, in an approximate way, in average, the side team has level 5 defense up from NL, level 3 defense up from NL from the pass, some from the special, that which will most likely be activated. So that's level 8. Then you have, let's just say Roger is still over the 70-second mark. So let's just say you have level 3 defense up from Roger, that's level 11. And then let's just say you have an extra level 2 from Rebecca Toy Soldier, that's level 13, and maybe you have, let's just say, an extra level 2 from Straw Hat Pirate, so that's level 15. So imagine a side team with level 15 defense up, so that's really tanky, obviously, and it is reducing a lot of damage. You're not dealing almost any damage to the units. Now let's just say one of these side units, then in general they have a similar amount, has around 180 base defense, and then level 15 it's increasing this defense by 375 defense. So if you add that up, that's 475 plus 80, so that is 555 if I'm not mistaken. So 555 defense, it's insane. Like, if you deal damage to that, it's just gonna be reducing like maybe 20% maximum, I would say, maybe 10%. Like, it's gonna be reducing a lot. You're gonna be dealing really few damage, which is what's happening in the JP meta. Was happening in the JP meta, that the units were tanking a lot of damage and everything. So maybe the unit is gonna be dealing, let's just say, 1,000 damage, probably less than that, but let's just say the unit, your unit is gonna be dealing 1,000 damage. Then let's just now take into consideration the half stat and the massive multiplier from Yamato. So you half stat that, you have 555 divided by 2, you already leave the unit with 250 approximately, well 252, but it's okay, let's just say 250. So this is actually kind of ridiculous, because 250 defense is not that much, and already this unit is reducing less than 60% of the damage. So let's just say it's on 50%. So the unit is reducing half of the damage that you inflict to this unit, and that might sound like a lot of the damage reduction, but it's actually not. So let's just take into consideration the attack stats from Yamato. Let's just say it has more, but let's just say it is 3000 base attack. If you let me break expand her, it's 300 100, but 3100, but well, let's just say, to easy calculations, that it's 3000. So, and then she has, let's just say, level 15 attack up, which can be more, but let's just say that. So that is an extra 750 plus 375. So let's just say this is an extra 1000 attack. So Yamato has 4000 attack, including the buffs, and then you multiply that by 4.5. This is insane. So you multiply that by 4.5, and this is actually 18,000 damage. And yeah, the side unit is reducing half of that. So the enemy unit is reducing 9,000 damage, which might sound crazy, but is actually taking also 9,000 damage, which is insane. Like, this is crazy, totally crazy to me. Like, yeah, probably this unit is gonna be dead. Like, yes, there's a lot of HP buffs, and if a unit is limit break expanded, that unit has 9k HP flat, and then yeah, you have HP buffs. So if the unit has HP buffs, the unit might survive, but you probably have dealt some other kind of damage even with normal attacks. So probably this unit is gonna be dead, or close to being dead, from one hit, one special, and this is gonna be to 2 units. Like, it's insane, the special of this unit and what it can do. So yeah, I do think that this unit is completely ridiculous, and I do think that just by doing some changes around the team, you can probably counter most of the variations, even with Sai, which, yeah, Sai reduces incoming in damage, so you have to also take that into consideration. Like, yeah, and that unit, instead of 9,000 damage, is gonna be reducing that by 30%, so maybe it's gonna be receiving only 6k damage, so it's already a lot. But well, it's maybe the unit is not gonna be dying, but this is only for the case of Sai, and I do think that you can do some variations with Sai, maybe get off some health cut, and that's just gonna be it. Because if you do a health cut to Sai unit, you're gonna be subtracting a lot of the HP, and then the special of Yamato will probably just destroy that unit. And even with second activations, also too, like, I do think that this unit is completely broken, and I'm kind of scared to seeing what the 6 plays might actually be doing. I'm kind of scared that it's actually gonna be even more broken. But well, I mean, sorry for the long talk about Yamato, but I just wanted to put some examples in terms of numbers of what this unit can do. Probably you already have seen it, but just in terms of calculations, if you like these calculations, so I do think that that was interesting. Maybe you don't find that interesting, let me know in the comment section down below. But I do like doing these calculations, and maybe I'm considering to do some video talking about more explicitly all these calculations and everything, and how to do them and everything. So yeah, let me know if you would be interested in that. But yeah, let's actually talk about Ulti Page 1. So Ulti Page 1 is the other legend that's going to be releasing together with Yamato, but it's not a Super Sugo Fest exclusive legend. So this unit is a dual unit, so it's a powerhouse and driven unit, and it's not gonna be a color unit because it's a dual unit, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But inside of powerhouse or driven teams, you can definitely use this unit, or even in rainbow teams if you want. So this unit is also really good, and yeah, it got overshadowed a little bit by Yamato, but this unit is actually kind of crazy too. Like, you are probably gonna be using this unit in a driven team or a powerhouse team, probably a driven team. And the passive will actually do level 5 knockback rate up, which is the same as Capone Crew. So if you combine this unit with Capone Crew in a driven team, you already have level 10 knockback rate up, which is a 55% of every normal attack to doing a knockback, which is kind of really high. And then also taking into consideration that the special of Capone deals another level 5, you're almost guaranteed to getting a knockback. So that's actually kind of crazy to see that that's gonna be really useful. And then a level 5 crit rate up, which is whatever, like, it can be useful, but if you're not using a crit team, and it's not the case probably, then well, I mean, yeah, your normal attacks are probably gonna be dealing more damage, but that's just gonna be it, and not even guaranteed. But well, then level 7 attack up to allies, so rainbow, that's really good. And then the special will increase by further the crit, which is also whatever. I mean, if you manage to build like a crit team, some special crit team, then this unit is gonna be useful for that. But yeah, so more crit rate up for 20 seconds, and then 2.5 characters attack to enemies in a sideways large range. So that is actually the same range as Odin has with the multiplier damage. And then 2 times characters attacking damage to powerhouse enemies. So powerhouse enemies inside that range are gonna be receiving 4.5 damage, which is insane. Like, it's totally insane. It's only to powerhouse enemies, and Yamato is not powerhouse, so that is probably a problem. But against other powerhouse units, like for example, a lot of units of the quick team like Kaido or Kaino are powerhouse, Moria is powerhouse, Rager is powerhouse, so there's interesting stuff. And obviously in mirror matches, Ulti Page 1 is also powerhouse. So yeah, I do think that this unit can actually be used in a very nice way. And the cooldown for this massive special, 25 cooldown, it's really low. This is insane. Like, the fact, yeah, it's only to powerhouse, but in 25 seconds you can activate the special to deal on a normal range, not just to 2 units. You can actually target, if the whole enemy team is powerhouse, it's inside the range, you can target the whole enemy team for 4.5 on the first activation on 25-second cooldown. So that is actually kind of a lot, and it's actually crazy. And I do think that this unit has a lot of potential inside driven teams, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how driven teams perform in this new quote-unquote new meta. like, and seeing how it works out. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this video talking about these new two units, which both are amazing in PvP, and I do think that Yamato overshadowed a little bit Ulti Page 1, but that doesn't mean that Ulti Page 1 is not good. Like, they are really, really great for driven teams. And yeah, Yamato is just crazy. Don't even want to see what the 6 plus does, because it's gonna be kind of ridiculous probably. Maybe there's just like almost no change. Maybe the multiplier, I do think that the multiplier is gonna be increasing from 4.5 to 5x, which is really scary, but well, I mean, the unit is already gonna be dealing a lot of damage, so a little bit of extra damage, yeah, probably it's gonna be nuking 2 units. Deal with that probably. It's gonna be something like that sort of deal. But yeah, I do think that maybe they will increase the passive, and if they buff a lot the passive, that's gonna be really scary. But well, we're gonna have to see. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think about these new units and what you think about the future meta in JP, and if you're gonna be pulling on that or not. I do recommend saving for Yamato. I already say that. I probably already have uploaded the videos telling that, and that you should probably save for Yamato in terms of PvP. We're gonna be seeing what the future units in JP look like, so maybe when we get to Yamato there's better units to pull for, because it's going like that. But in the future we're not gonna be knowing what comes, so I do think that having Yamato is it's gonna be not a safe bet, but it's gonna be a very, very good unit to have, the same as Kid, for example. That's why I'm pulling for him, just because it's a very unique unit that we don't know what's gonna come in JP. And yeah, we are a few months away from JP, but in New Year's we're gonna be at the same time of JP. So who knows? Maybe a unit gets released and then you need Kit, and there's no Super Sugo Fest. So I do think that I want Kit just in that case, not only because of the performance of against Dex teams and side teams and everything. I do want to have a unit like such a unique unit like that. But yeah, the same as Yamato, I do suggest saving for Yamato. But as I was saying, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.